Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a couple of tools that are, and I'm not exaggerating here, a fundamental superpower for anyone who writes code or even just manages a lot of digital files. We're talking about Git and GitHub.
So let's start with a feeling I'm pretty sure we've all had. You're deep in the zone, right? Making changes, things are flowing, and then you realize the version you had 3 hours ago was actually way better. But it's gone. Or maybe you're trying to work with a team, and your shared folder is just this nightmare of files, like final, and use this one final. It's maddening.
Well, the good news is there is a much better way. Developers figured out how to escape this exact kind of chaos, and today we're going to demystify the whole system. And trust me, this isn't just a small improvement, it's a complete game changer for how you work. So this game-changing system is all built on one core idea, and that idea is called version control. Now, I know it sounds a bit technical, but the concept itself is actually pretty simple and brilliant. A version control system, or VCS for short, is basically a time machine for your project. That's its whole job, to keep a detailed, meticulous history of every single change you make so that nothing is ever really, truly lost. So how does it do that? Well, here's the key. A VCS doesn't just save over your old file. Instead, it takes a snapshot of your entire project at a specific moment in time. You get to decide exactly when to take that picture, creating this permanent record that you can always go back to.
And this gives you some incredible powers. You can literally see every change that's ever been made, see who made it and why. And the best part? You can roll back to any previous version if you make a mistake. It also lets you experiment with new ideas in a totally safe, isolated space without breaking the stuff that already works. It's amazing.
Okay, now that we get the idea of version control, let's clear up what is probably the single biggest point of confusion for pretty much everyone starting out. What is the difference between Git and GitHub? Because they're related for sure, but they are not the same thing. All right, here's the most important thing to remember. Git, that's the software. It's the version control system itself, the tool that you install and run right there on your own computer. It's the engine. GitHub, on the other hand, is a website. It's a service up in the cloud that gives you a place to store your Git projects and, crucially, work on them with other people. You know, a really great analogy I've heard is this. Git is the coffee, and GitHub is the coffee shop. Git is the awesome, powerful thing you use on your machine. GitHub is the place you go to share that coffee, talk about it with friends, and work together on brewing the next amazing batch. They're just designed to work together perfectly. So let's get into the weeds a little. How does Git actually think about the files on your computer? It's not random. It actually uses this really simple and deliberate 3-step process. Okay, so first you've got your working directory. That's just your regular project folder where you're editing your files like normal. Now, when you've made a few changes that you like, you add them to something called the staging area. The best way to think about this is like putting items into a shopping basket. You're carefully choosing exactly which changes you want to save. And then, finally, when you're ready, you take everything in that basket and you save it permanently to your repository, or repo. And this act of saving, this is the magic moment. It's called a commit. A commit is the fundamental building block of your project's history. You're creating that permanent snapshot, it gets its own unique ID, and you attach a little message to it explaining what you did. This is literally how your project's entire history gets built, one clear, descriptive commit at a time. All right, so we've got our local history all nice and tidy, but development is a team sport, right? So now let's connect our local work to the rest of the world using GitHub. This is where collaboration really comes alive. So once you've made a few commits locally with Git, you need a way to share them, and you do that by pushing them. You're literally pushing your saved changes up to that remote repository on GitHub. It's just like uploading your work so your teammates can finally see what you've been up to. And of course, it goes both ways. To get all the latest updates that your teammates have been pushing up to GitHub, you pull those changes down to your local machine. This makes sure your version of the project is perfectly in sync with the central one, so everybody's working from the same page. And honestly, this simple rhythm, this dance of pushing your changes up and pulling their changes down, that's it. That's the core of it. This is what allows teams of hundreds, even thousands of developers to all work on the same project at the same time without it becoming a complete and total mess. It's a really elegant solution to a super complex problem. So let's bring it all home. Why does any of this matter?
Well, because learning Git and GitHub isn't just about learning another piece of software. It's about gaining a genuine, honest-to-goodness superpower as a developer, a writer, a creator, anyone.
With this, you get the ability to literally rewind time on your project. You can experiment without fear, you can collaborate seamlessly with people on the other side of the planet. It's your ticket to contributing to the huge world of open source software. And maybe most practically, it creates a public portfolio on your GitHub profile that shows employers exactly what you can do. So by understanding these core ideas, what version control is, the real difference between Git and GitHub, and that whole push and pull workflow, you have honestly taken the single most important first step. You've got the key. The only question left is, what doors are you going to open with it?